When your teenager does something extraordinary, you just can't help but be proud of them. And I think there's a lot of proud parents in Texas at this one high school right now. This one high school has about 2,700 students, and 43% of these students are considered economically disadvantaged. So here's what these high school students did. These students got together and made a grocery store. And the way that you pay for things in their grocery store at this high school, which has meat and basic items and toilet paper and stuff like that, is to earn points by doing good deeds.
And the more I just got cold chills from that.
I know.
That's so sweet.
And the more good deeds you do, the more points you earn, and the more points you get, you're able to redeem those at this grocery store, because then they can bring that stuff home to their families and help out their families in such a really cool way. Businesses are helping to support this so that they can stock the grocery store. The students are running the whole thing, the entire thing, and it's amazing on how they're doing this. That's out in Texas.
Yeah, you know, when you think about it, it's hard to wrap your brain around in this country, as blessed as we are, that there are so many kids what they call food insecure. And that means, yeah, they might eat, but they might not eat. And they just don't ever know. And that they've done something about it to inspire them to do good and get good at the same time.
His Morning Crew.
There's a little girl, Selah Thompson. She was 5 years old. She was in kindergarten, and her teacher was reading to them, and then they were trying to read. She came home that day from, that first day of kindergarten and told her mom she was sad because her friends couldn't read. They didn't know their ABCs. They weren't able to read like she was. And so she started thinking about it, talking with her mom. They decided they were going to do something to help other kids read. And they started this little library thing. Now that went on for a while. Now Selah's in the second grade, and she is inspired. She wants to get 2 million books in the hands of kids. Oh, by the way, did I say that Selah is also an author herself? She has her own book called Penelope the Pirate Princess.
Bestseller on the New York Times.
It has to be. It has to be. No,
if it's not, it will be now,
I would think so. So, I mean, it's just the cutest. It's inspired by her, but it's also about a pirate. She has been honored because she started this group called Empowered Readers Literacy Project. That's where she's trying to get those 2 million books, but she's even been honored by the Atlanta City Council.
Way to go. Wow.
8 years old.
8 years old.
Incredible.
2 million books, making a difference.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
I'm going to tell you about Debbie's family. They are from Michigan, but about 3 years ago, they decided, you know what, we're going to go to the big city. We're going to go to Chicago, and they took their black lab. Her name is Lola along with them. But while they were on this trip, and Lola looks to me like she is up there in years a little bit, she got away. They went back after a couple weeks. They kept going, trying to find Lola. 3 years go by, and somebody spots a black lab kind of out in the forest because they had put up lost dog, and gone on social media trying to find her. But somebody saw her in the forest and took her to the local Humane Society. And when they got her to the Humane Society, Lola had a microchip, and they tracked down her family. So they got the call, and they all reunited just this past week.
That is so great. And how many years? 3 years, did you say?
3 years she was gone, just living in the forest. I can't imagine what Lola was going through.
I know. My. I'm so glad they're reunited. I can only imagine what that family felt like when all of a sudden they thought, we'll never see her again. And there she is, like best Christmas ever.
Yeah, Debbie was the mom, just crying. She said, when I got the phone call, just tears started streaming. So you can imagine how relieved they were.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
I don't know if you have an Amazon wish list. I have one. I even have a Guitar Center wish list where I have published some guitars that I would like in the near future. Just a wish. Got to get it on the budget if I'm ever going to buy one, but it's just a wish. I even put one on Facebook thinking, maybe Santa will see this. I don't know. So Christine knows what wish lists are all about when it comes to Amazon, and she wants to do something unique with Amazon wish lists. So her mom, Christine's mom, is a healthcare worker working right side by side with COVID-19 patients. And then earlier this year, Christine, her husband, and her kid got COVID-19.
Oh, man.
And then they thought, man, the way the healthcare workers are even working with us is just amazing. So 3 weeks after all of that, she develops this Facebook group, and it's called Adopt a Nurse / Healthcare Worker. And she's thinking, okay, let's just publish their wish lists, and then you adopt one of the healthcare workers, and then help them out for Christmas because they're sacrificing so much. So since she did that, 11,000 people are now members of this. And they fulfilled so far for healthcare workers 1,000 and counting around the world. It's just not happening in the United States, but this is around the world. So it's become a phenomenon, all because one lady wanted to help out all these healthcare workers and do something for them this Christmas.
And it's so incredible. My daughter is a nurse. I'm almost positive she was adopted. I'm almost positive that she got like a coffee mug or something like that, maybe a gift card inside of it, maybe a month or so ago.
Really?
So
That's great.
This could be a direct result of what Christine's done.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
How old were your kids when iCarly was on in its day? Let's see, that was 13 years ago when it started. So Amanda was 13. Spencer was 6. Wow. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. So it looks like there's a comeback for iCarly.
Yeah, iCarly says they are coming back with a reboot of the show. So Miranda Cosgrove, who played, obviously, iCarly, Jerry Traynor, who played Spencer, and Nathan Kress, who played Freddie, they are all coming back to the show. They were some of the main characters. However, Gibby and Sam have not signed on yet. I just don't know if you can do that show without those two characters.
Okay, I've seen it. I vaguely remember it.
Well, Carly and Sam were like the best friends, the girls, the best friends. Gibby was your comic relief. Freddie was the guy. I don't know if there was a crush thing happening. I don't know.
Was he the
Spencer,
computer geek?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah. And then Spencer was like the older brother of Carly, who took care of her.
So we're talking 13 years later now.
I know.
So they're going to be mid-20s-ish.
I wonder if they'll bring in like younger characters where Carly now is taking care of a younger sibling or a cousin or something. Usually they try to stay in that same, vein.
Mm-hmm. Nickelodeon? Because that's what it was on, right?
Yes.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
When was the last time that you were at a museum with your kids? It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. Hey, when was the last time you were at an underwater museum? Probably never. Yeah, right? There's one in Greece, as a matter of fact, that they're getting ready to unveil.
This thing is wild. So you are going to, hopefully you know how to dive. If not, you might want to get that certification, but you're going to dive 80 feet and you're going to see this shipwreck that they say happened 2,400 years ago or something. It's called Peristera. Did I say that right?
Yeah, and the cargo that they were carrying was black glazed clay tableware. Still intact, it looks like. So they're pretty optimistic because of COVID-19 and all this stuff. It looks like by June next year that this thing will be open. So if you plan a trip to Greece, you can go scuba diving into a museum.
I've always wanted to go to Greece. I don't know if I want to go scuba diving. Have you ever done that?
I have, yeah.
Do you like it?
I love it. It's so much fun.
Claustrophobic? It feels like it would be claustrophobic to me, but I don't know.
You just got to learn how to breathe, and you have to learn how to breathe at different levels. That's why you have to go through training and classes for it to be certified to actually scuba dive, because you just don't stick on the tank and put the oxygen in you and then go. There's certain things you have to do, even how you come up and raise out of the water. The bubbles that come alongside you that go out when you're... Oh, that sounded like Darth Vader. I'm sorry.
Darth Vader a little bit.
But you don't go any faster than the bubbles going up. I mean, there's a whole thing to it, and I wish I could tell you all the scientific stuff that they teach you when you get certified to scuba dive, but all that to say, yeah, I have.
Yeah, and it sounds like a great trip to Greece and first underwater museum. Let's book it.
His morning crew.
Here's a thought. What actor or actress do you think will come and save the day in real life for somebody, literally save their life? Would it be Chris Hemsworth or Harrison Ford or Bruce Willis? Wait till you hear this one. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
And this woman evidently can do anything. Dolly Parton saved a little girl's life.
What, Dolly Parton? Isn't that crazy? I don't think, who do I want to save my life? Dolly Parton come and get you out of the way of a moving vehicle or something.
No, she might fix your hair, but save your life, I'm not so sure. But she was on the set of her brand new movie, which is called Christmas on the Square. And one of the little actresses, her name is Talia Hill. She's 9 years old. She was out getting some hot chocolate from like a little hot chocolate stand or whatever. And a car was coming through. A vehicle was moving. Talia said she was walking. She was about to get hit by the car. And Dolly just reached out and grabbed her and pulled her back out of the way of the vehicle. And she turned around and saw it was Dolly. And she said, Dolly Parton, you just saved my life. And I love what Dolly said. Yes, ma'am, I did. She's like, she wasn't like, no thanks needed. She's like, yes, I did do that.
Yeah, she should be. She's 70-something. Saving lives at 70.